It's Monday, July 28, 2025, and I was just listening to a video where they were talking about female humanoid robots and how some women are getting upset that these women that are robots, female-looking robots, are like sex slaves. And I'm like laughing because I'm just like saying to myself, you know, if you build a car for transportation, you could build a woman or a robot for sexual gratification. In fact, in Japan, they got these machines that don't even look like women. They're just machines, and they kind of got like a orange hole that would, you know, with a little oil and stimulation, you know, insert penis here, and you'll get this wonderful, you know, automated sensation that will lead to man to orgasm. So I don't understand why women are getting upset that these machines, although they look like women, they're made for a specific purpose, sexual gratification. And the creators of these machines are now going to innovate and make these machines have the ability to walk, to talk, to move beyond just laying down in the bed and having a man get on top of them for sexual release. But I just don't think women really appreciate the value that they bring on one hand to a man in terms of sexual gratification and pleasure. But I think on the other hand, women overvalue that to the point of becoming tyrants. You know, you're not going to get this unless you do what I say, and this and that. You know, I'm just thinking with a cell phone talking in this car. I'm just trying to understand this, ladies. Is, you know, you guys got dildos. You know, dildos don't have any rights. They're sex slaves to you guys. Whenever you need them, you pull them out and put them to use. And how is that any different from, you know, the machine in Japan or this humanoid robot? They were specifically made to get a man to ejaculate, to have some sexual release. I think it would be more insulting. Like, if I was a woman, I would be insulted that a man would even dare create machines that would usurp the role that I play in life. I would be insulted. I'd be offended. I'd be offended, you know, to a point where I'd talk to other women and it would become like a mob. We'd become like a mob going to the news media outlets that are even promoting this as a viable option for men. And then before I'd even do this mob thing, I would gather up and talk to women like, you know, what's going on, ladies? Why are these men wanting to have sex with a machine or even jerk off? That's our job. You know, God gave us 3 holes and 2 hands, even a cleft between the chest to, you know, and you can even bring your legs together, you know, a fold between your legs, or even your feet, to pleasure a man. And that's such a dishonoring role for you. I mean, I'd totally be upset and offended that, you know, I'd almost be driven to tears. Like, how dare you? How is this even something for you to even imagine that you would want to do this instead of have me do it for you or have me participate with you in this? The dignity of a woman is being just slowly torn down to where the only value that you guys are creating in this reality is just sex. You guys are boiling yourself slowly down to where you're no longer even valuable in that department. So I would just ask women to really think clearly about this. I know I might be insulting the women right now. I don't think so, because I'm just asking questions and I'm just creating scenarios for you guys to really think deeply about this, because, you are given the opportunity to have total freedom, total autonomy, and you guys dropped the ball when you started making money. You wanted men that made more money than you. But in this capitalistic system, when you flood the market with laborers that are competing against each other, it was men that went to work and provided. Now men and women are both out here in the job market competing for those same jobs. So you double the number of people competing for these good jobs. So you're going to displace a number of men in order to get these jobs that men ordinarily would use to provide not just for themselves, but for a wife and children. So it's just not realistic, all of these things you guys want out of reality, when you're not really paying attention and nobody's really pointing these things out to you. Because it's all just arguing the same talking points in a circle, but nobody's really trying to show you where you're coming up short. But I'm just going to say that you guys should be ashamed of yourselves and really upset that men have gotten to a point of, you know what? Let's just build some artificial wombs. Let's build some robots, because, women are they've become obsolete. You guys are working yourselves into obsolescence because you're listening to people. And like I told you in my earlier videos, you guys have been mesmerized, And if you don't know what mesmerized is, go back and look for the video. In fact, you know what? I'm going to make another video specifically saying mesmerized. What does it mean? What do I mean by mesmerized? And then you guys will understand what I'm talking about. Have a good day.